On May 1st, I started a test comparing TCGPlayer to eBay utilizing 5,000 bulk cards on TCGPlayer, 5,000 bulk Pokemon cards on eBay. Now, my plan with this series is to do a weekly update video every Sunday. And since we just started it kind of on April 30th, going into May 1st, we don't have a lot of results yet, but I do want to share, and I'm classifying this more as a week 0. So I'm going to be tracking all of my sales in a spreadsheet, and based on each platform, we're going to see how it does. So far, we have done 46 card sales, 15 orders rather, across both platforms. And kind of want to go over what those orders look like and what the net profit looks like per card. So we're going to start. I'm actually going to filter this down to TCGPlayer first. And we're going to take a look at those sales. So on TCGPlayer, and let me sort by order number here. So we did get an order in for 2 Journey Together Dunsparces and 2 Hildas from White Flare. Now those Hildas I had priced at $2.11 each, and the Dunsparces I had at 63. I believe they're pumping right now, but at the time I did this sale was pre-pump, so they were about 63 cents. And we can see our shipping cost. Basically what we did is we took the $1.31 that we get. Now, I don't offer free shipping on my TCGPlayer. I do a flat rate of $1.31 regardless of the order amount, unless it comes from my pro seller site, in which case I will do free shipping over $20. So for these, even though it exceeded $5 here, we did still get $1.31 in shipping fees or shipping charges, basically charged to the buyer. So we basically divide that across all the cards, and that is why you see 33 cents per card is kind of what we got on the shipping side. Our cost, now these are rounded up to the nearest cents, but it was 78 cents to ship all 4 cards, and the order fee on that was a total of $1.27, so we spread that across the 4 cards. And you can kind of see the net amount here per card. So both those Dunsparces that we sold for 63 cents, we netted 45 cents on those. And the Hilda, which we sold for $2.11, we netted $1.93 on those. And that is because the shipping helps us out with that. And this is after we have already accounted for the postage fees. However, it does not account for the shipping supply fees. In general, a order, and I can cover this in future videos, but I have this kind of the spreadsheet I put together of what it actually cost me to ship out orders. If you're interested in this, me covering this in the future, let me know. But essentially, a TCGPlayer order of up to, we'll say 6 to 9 cards, depending on like 9 Yu-Gi-Oh cards, 6 Pokemon cards, I can send out for 97 cents. That includes envelopes, that includes thermal labels, that includes team bags, that includes semi-rigids. That is basically my all-in, including postage. So if we don't talk about postage, since we're already accounting for that on the other side, it's 19 cents. So I didn't factor that in here, mainly because it's 19 cents on both platforms, regardless kind of what we're working with there. So our cost basis on all these cards, if you looked at that prior video, I bought all of these from Cool Stuff Inc. And basically our cost basis on all of these cards is going to be 3 cents, basically 3.7 cents. And so that's kind of what you're seeing here. So if we look at the profit per card, both of our Dunsparces, our true profit is 41 cents. On the Hilda, our true profit was 89 cents. And coming down the list, you can kind of see, I'm not going to go over the true profit for all the cards, but you can kind of see how those lay out. So we did sell a Thwackey from Twilight Masquerade, along with 3 Brave Bangles from White Flare. So that was our second order that we got there. And that order, our net profit on that one was 71 cents. And then we sold 4 Ultra Balls from Mega Evolutions. So you can kind of see those here. And with that, we only netted 12 cents for that whole order. And then Lily's Determination. You can see somebody came and they bought, I believe they bought 8. There's actually 2 orders here. So there was an order of 8 Lily's Determinations there. And so we did net $1.68 from that order. And then somebody bought a single one from a separate order. We netted 26 cents. And a Relicanth from Unified Minds. And we netted 34 cents on that one. So on the TCG player side, you can kind of see our revenue was $10.60. But our net there was $8.52. Sold 22 cards across 5 orders. Average net per card was 39 cents. Average net per order was $1.70. Now let's flip on over to eBay and take a look at those numbers. All right, so on eBay, you're going to see, now with eBay, we do have 2 coupons. We have a buy 2, get 1 free coupon. And we also have a, I think it's a buy 5, get 3 free. Yes. So buy 2, get 1 free, buy 5, get 3 free. Nobody's taken advantage of the buy 5, get 3 free yet. But we have had some with the buy 2, get 1 free. And I was trying the promotional thing just to see how it worked out. I did turn that off. So starting with week 1, the first full week, there will not be any promoted listings. So we're going to see how those lay out. Our first order was a Poochyena from Astral Radiance. You can see we sold that for $1.99 now on eBay. There is a minimum listing of 99 cents. So what we do is we bake in shipping and we upcharge the base fee and then we do a free shipping. You can kind of see shipping costs can be 74 cents on these. It's slightly less because of the negotiated rates that eBay has with the post office. You're going to kind of see the order fees in here. And if it was sold through a promoted listing, I included the marketing fee as an additional fee. And then you'll see the net, and then cost base is still going to be the same, and then we'll see the profit. So for Poochyena, there was no promoted listing sale. So we sold it for $1.99. We had a shipping charge of 74 cents. We also had an order fee of 56 cents. Our net on that one was 69 cents, minus our cost basis, so our profit was 65 cents on that single card. Clefairy from Brilliant Stars, you can see that we netted 38 cents on that order. Salandit from Battle Styles, we netted 65 cents on that one. And I do want to highlight the Clefairy one. You can kind of see that's almost half. That's because of the promoted listing. So we basically dug into half of our profit just because we were using that promoted listing there. Salandit, 65 cents without the promoted listing. So we're good there. Cubfu from Chilling Rain. Again, this is another one that was sold through a promoted listing. 39 cents on the profit on that one. And then we had our first buyer use the buy 2, get 1 free coupon. And they bought 2 Evolving Skies cards and a Fusion Strike card. And so we sold Snorlax from Fusion Strike, Psyduck and Pikachu from Evolving Skies. And you can see I basically evenly divided the price. Their total order was actually $3.98. I divided that across all 3 cards. Same thing with the shipping cost. So it was 74 cents to ship all 3 cards in one package. So we do gain some there. The order fee, I divided that across there as well. It was 84 cents for the whole order. And this was an interesting one because the Snorlax was bought as part of a promotion, but through an ad. However, the supplemental cards that they added to the order were not. So they basically added this card. They saw the banner that said I had buy two, get one free. They went to view my other listings and they picked out 2 more cards. And basically what that got them is, and it got me 2 additional sales without promotional fees on these 2. So that was nice to see. So you can kind of see here the net on this one was 63 cents because it had that marketing fee to it, but both of these were 80 cents. And so if we take a look at the net for that order, we actually profited $2.12. And so you can see, like, if you extrapolate that out, like even looking at these, you can kind of see 65, 35, 65. On a typical, if we did 3 separate orders, then we could be like profiting like $1.69. But because we did all 3 of those, even though we had buy 2, get 1 free, we still netted $2.12. So we still netted about 33% more had we sold individual cards. And that is the power of basically including the shipping cost within the price of the card. And then being able to combine those shippings into a single package. So moving on, then somebody bought Eevee from Shrouded Fable. And this was an offer. So I had listed $1.99. There were a couple watchers. I sent out an offer, 5% off. And somebody snagged it. And so they got it for $1.89. And unfortunately, it was also, they had viewed it through a promoted listing, which means we incur the fee. And so we netted 32 cents on that card. Next was Ghastly from Paldean Fates, and we netted 40 cents on that one. Judge from Fusion Strike, netted 65 cents on that one. Sableye from Phantasmal Flames, we netted 39 cents. Again, promotional fee on that one. And then we had a buyer do, now this was before I had the buy 5, get 3 free. So they bought 6 cards. So they got the buy 2, get 1 free twice, all within the same order. So you can kind of see that spread out here. So essentially it equated to $1.33. It was $7.96 for 6 cards. But nice thing about that is 6 cards is exactly 1 ounce. So we were able to still do the 74-cent shipping. And you can kind of see the order fee for that whole order was $1.32 spread across 6 cards. All of them were permitted listing. However, you can see a very minimal rate. It's at 34 cents across all 6, which basically equated to 6 cents a card. Again, same thing kind of as above, where only 1 card gets hit with that permitted listing. Then they go to my other listings and add them. So only the initial one was subject to that fee. And if we look at the profit for that order, come over here and look at everything from 10. You can see we basically profited 89 cents on each card. So we profited $5.34 on selling just those 6 common cards. Oh, very nice to see that. And then the cards in that sale was Esper from Surging Sparks, Meryl from Surging Sparks, Pikachu from Silver Tempest, Tandemos from Surging Sparks, Charcadet from Surging Sparks, and Togepi from Obsidian Flames. And then we had a buyer, another buyer take advantage of buy 2, get 1 free. And they grabbed Erica's Weeping Bell from Ascended, Clefairy from Brilliant Stars, Psyduck from Astral Radiance. And once again, you can kind of see 1 permitted listing, and then they added the additionals. So we netted $1.95 from that order. And then we had somebody buy Dratini from Roaring Skies. So we netted 65 cents on that one. Ceruledge from Phantasmal Flames, we netted 65 on that one. And Toad Skirl from Journey Together, and we netted 65 cents on that one. So if we take a look at how the total orders compared, so our total revenue was $50.30 on, or sorry, $39.70 on eBay. And our profit was $16.49. Total cards sold, 24. So very close to the number of cards that we sold on TCGPlayer. However, our net's higher and our order count is triple. So a lot more orders, but they all basically sum to about the same amount of cards. But you can see the average net per card was 69 cents versus 39 cents. Our average net per order, though, $1.10 versus $1.70. So again, this is just week 0. This is basically April 30th, May 1st, and May 2nd. So the beginning of May 3rd was kind of the cutoff. My plan is to do Sunday to Saturday night as kind of the weekly windows and then posting a video every Sunday on the sales. A couple things to keep in mind here is in order to list this many cards, the 5,000 plus cards I've listed on eBay, I did have to get the eBay store subscription, and I went month to month on that. And that is because I'm running this test to determine whether I want to sell on eBay or whether I want to sell on TCGPlayer. I'm most likely going to pick one platform that's going to be kind of my bulk platform. And I may still dabble on some cards here and there on a different platform. But the goal of this test is for me to personally be able to pick a platform. And so we basically had to spend $27 up front for that eBay store subscription in order to be able to list 10,000 cards each month. So basically, we're already in the hole on eBay. Now, we did net $16 here. So we're in the hole about $19. But on TCGPlayer, we're already in the profit of $8.52. So through week 0, TCGPlayer is actually the winner. Now, the further we get into the month, I expect eBay to look more lucrative. But that's what I'm interested to see. We really need eBay to outshine TCGPlayer by a net margin of at least $27 to make up for that subscription fee that we're incurring. So be interesting to see. Right now, kind of what's in my head after just a few days is potentially, depending on how the results lay out, over 3 months. But what's in my head right now is maybe moving forward doing like ultra rares, like EX cards, reverse holos, and maybe even regular holos on eBay, and doing all the commons, uncommons, non-holo rares on TCGPlayer. Again, that's kind of what's in my head right now, because I do get 150 free listings a month that I can do just without a subscription. And I'm fortunate enough that I've been an eBay seller for a very long time, and I'm allowed to list 10 million items a month, up to $10 million in sales. So, however, I'm still subject to paying an insertion fee once I'm above 150 if I don't have a store subscription. And so basically having that second tier subscription here allows us to do the 10,000 listings for essentially $27 a month. So that's kind of where we're at right now. We'll be doing another follow-up video probably next Sunday talking about my true week 1 results. Again, this was a shortened week just because of where the first landed and when I started the test.